Hey there, so I just finished watching Falagar's excellent video, Films That Deserve a Chance. If you haven't seen it yet, you should go check it out. Sub if you already haven't subbed, like the video, and do a video response. There's not enough video responses around there, and you know me, I do video responses to everything that I find pretty cool. And this one's awesome. He talks about some films that he thinks deserves a second chance, and some of them I gotta agree with. I really liked other ones that weren't on the tops of my list, but I can understand that because we all have different opinions. There's no movie, I don't care what it is, that's blanket bad for everybody. A lot of the movies that were considered like horrible back in the day are considered classics now, and other ones that were basically became cult classics are just some really cool stuff. So let's get right into it. I got 6 movies I'm going to show here. These are by no means like, well, some of them are really cool classic films, but we're going to start with one that I mentioned in a recent video. When Ned of Living Dead, the remake by Tom Savini, came out, it got a lot of crap. It was the colorization, the color of the zombies, the acting at the time. They thought it didn't go far enough. It wasn't different enough, but in actuality, this was actually a really good film that was hampered slightly by studio interference. By no means is this a bad movie. It is one that I gotta say, definitely pick it up, definitely give it a chance. You know, it's not. I was never a huge fan. Well, I'm a fan. I like the original Night of Living Dead, but I like the other ones, like the later ones, better. I think I love the cinematography and stark darkness of the original Night of Living Dead, and I really like this. I think this is highly underrated. It's like the Blob remake that was done with Kevin Dillon. I think that's another highly underrated movie. It's not on the list here, but just one I thought I'd mention. And there's some great stuff in here. Tony Todd's in this, guys. Give it a chance. Next up was one I really didn't like when I first saw it. And is it a good movie? Not really. But it's worth watching. It's definitely worth checking out if you haven't seen it. It has nothing to do with the source material at all. Well, it kind of sort of does. The first 10 minutes of the movie evokes the feel of the original, and then it just goes into like a wacky comedy. Does it work all the time? No, it's pretty uneven. But all that being said, it was a decent ride. I think it does fall apart a bit at the end, but some of the acting is pretty cool. It's a Johnny Depp film, and it's Dark Shadows. I have no idea. I'm a huge Dark Shadows fan. If anybody has seen many of my videos, then they realize that I'm one of the guys there that actually went out and got the original Dark Shadows, complete series. You know, the big coffin box, that's in my collection. That $600 set is in my collection. And so this is pretty much heresy to me. Trust me, when this came out and I saw the first trailers of this, I did not want to see it. My diatribes about this film were legendary on some sites. And that being said, taking it for what it is, there's some decent aspects of this film. It's a good film. It's uneven. It's definitely not one of Tim Burton's best. But there are aspects of this film that definitely make it worth watching. It's not something, you know, to hide away from. Next up is one that always gets hate, and it's a favorite of one of my better halves, and it's Piranha 2: The Spawning. James Cameron, early film they did with Roger Corman. This is different. Lance Henriksen's in this one here, or young Lance Henriksen. Trish O'Neill's in this one. It's just a very different film. It's like, you know, if you've seen The Spawning, those Piranha movies, then this, you know, this now seemed ahead of its time for what was done back then. But of course, cheesy effects. The piranhas fly in this one. Was, you know, a kind of a cool, different thing back then. We have these flying piranhas. So there's a grinding run scene here in this one that's really good. You know, they go to grab the fish and it comes back on them. Whatever. Next up is another aquatic film that gets a lot of hate, and I really don't know why, because I watched this film and you know what, I had fun with it. You definitely got to check your brain to the door with this one, as Falagar said with a couple of the movies there. But Sharknado. I should have completely hated this film, but I didn't. I wasn't bored. Did it always make a lot of sense and what they were doing? Not totally, but you know, it was a fun film. I would like to have this one in 3D, and if there was a Sharknado 2, I'd definitely go see it in the theater, because it was just such a fun movie. Again, I got that kind of like I don't think I'm trying to go for like more serious, but like kind of like Plastic type feel, kind of what was done. Shark movies, love them. I'm with Mood 616 on shark movies, by the way. I'm a big fan of shark movies, and I'll watch the cheesiest ones. And I think Sharknado is a fun film. People go and crap on it, but what do you expect from a movie called Sharknado? Honestly, this is what Shark Tornado, the best of both worlds. Fun film, definitely worth checking out. If you haven't checked it out, go do so. Next up is a documentary that gets crapped on a lot. Usually it's from supposed hardcore fans, or I like to call them posers, who like to crap on stuff a lot. And that is Going to Pieces, the rise and fall of the slasher film. Now, Going to Pieces is based on a book that was actually pretty damn successful talking about slasher films. So when this movie came out, brought out by Think Films and Stars, I was pretty pumped to see it. And I gotta say, still, this is one that I go back to, I watch over and over again, and it doesn't matter. I've heard like criticism, like, you know, well, I know everything already that was in the documentary. So, I'm a guy that researched slashers and a lot, because I was going to write a book, a reference book on slasher films, kind of like a fun history of it. I was going to use a Canadian slant on it, but ended up like just scrapping the book at the time and going back to work. But and it's a fun film. I mean, even though you don't care if you know everything that's in here or not, it's a really fun film. The interviews are well put together. It's it's tightly edited. It makes you want more when it's finished. 88 minutes long, some cool features on here, some extra interviews and stuff like that. And the one that I always champion, and Falagar knows this, and anybody that watched my channel knows this, and I gotta agree, Falagar, Texas Chainsaw. It gets a lot of hate, and I consider myself a Texas Chainsaw aficionado. From the whole franchise, and this one, it gets it right, but people just don't get it. Some people had like comments like, it's not gory enough, it's not, it doesn't have enough. Well, there has some pretty cool gore scenes in there. And two, go back and watch the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. It's not gory at all. A lot of it is done with innuendo and subtle. Like, there's no subtlety in this movie. The original Texas Chainsaw Massacre was very subtle in the way that it did things. Slamming of the door left it to your imagination. And Falagar says it right here, that the thing that this movie gets right, that a lot of them try to do but don't manage to get right, and that is the focus on family. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Texas Chainsaw has always been about family. Always been about the family aspects of it, and the kind of twisted dynamics of family. This one understands it. I guess, Tobe Hooper was there, and Gunnar was there, and all those guys were there along the way too. They're in the film. They had, Gunnar was actually spoke with the guy that plays Freddy, what's he called in this one? Bubba? Was it called Bubba in this one? Can't remember what he's called in this one again now. Well, anyway, plays Leatherface in this, and he just got to learn and grow with him. The features on this will make you a lover of this film. If you were not a lover of this film and you watch the features on this and you're still not a lover of this film, you're not a Texas Chainsaw guy. Maybe it's not your franchise. That's okay. It's not for everybody. But Texas Chainsaw Massacre was a great film, and this is a really good follow-up. The girl in this is freaking beautiful. I mean, why isn't she Wonder Woman? Like seriously, why is she not the person cast for Wonder Woman? She is gorgeous. Movie moves at a rapid pace. You're not going to get bored watching this film. There's a really cool reference to Motel Hell in this one. Check it out. You'll see it there. Hard to miss. Fun film. All the cast members think we're signed on for I think at least 2 more. So hopefully we'll get to see those, and all that bitching and complaining from before and from internet armchair critics is going to affect the film here. Some good friends of mine don't we're not fans of this film, and to this day I still champion it and tell them give it another try, buy the DVD. It's like $12 at Target for this Blu-ray, for a 3D Blu-ray, Blu-ray and DVD. You have no excuse not to go to Target and buy this for $12. If you're a horror fan and this is not in your collection, shame on you. Toby Hooper does a commentary on this one here. The original Texas Chainsaw Massacre cast does commentary on this one here. For that alone, you need to own this film. If you're going to look at me and you're going to say you're a Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan, and you don't have this in your collection with the amazing amount of stuff from the original cast, you're not a fan. You're not a fan. And my better half would say it's being harsh and stuff like that, which it probably is. But see, if you were a fan and you gave it a chance and said, okay, this is not for me. I know what they're doing with it, but it was not for me. I could be like this. But if you don't buy this movie, at least give it another chance. Then I'm going to be like this. And you really don't want to see me like this. It's sad. TJ, where's the reference from? Thanks for watching, and check out Falagar517. Subscribe to Falagar517. Subscribe to TJ. Subscribe to Logan Toxic. Subscribe to Blu-ray Anonymous. Subscribe. And ready. Simon Says Movies. So many good people to subscribe to. And those are a few of my favorite peeps that I'm always going to keep drilling it in until you guys are subscribed to all of them. Ruth Ashley is back. If you're not subscribed to Ruth Ashley, get over there and subscribe to her channel right now. She is awesome, and she's got a wonderful Walking Dead collection you have to check out. Joe's House of Horrors knows this is Doctor Who stuff almost as much as me. Check out his channel. He's getting ready. He's finishing up school. He's doing some really cool stuff. Now the Creepy Monster Squad, Killer Nerd 75, just some great YouTubers. I always like to give these random shoutouts at the end of some of my videos. 4K Cinema HD. There's so many people. Rory, by the way, he just won a contest. Congratulations, Rory, on that, by the way. Alyssa White, really cool one. Just Mood 616, Miss Poppy 90. Here we go with these random ones. Lost Witch 7, Z. Where the hell did the 7 come from? Lola's Basement. Lola's Basement